I'm HR Director. I'm MCIPD qualified, so that means I have to follow a code of conduct that the Institute of Personnel Management sets, and I worked as an HR Director for 20 years.
What motivated you to look at the doctor's contract?
I think because I am passionate about the NHS and because I wanted to further understand what the issues were for both sides, I wanted to have a look at it, and for me, junior doctors being a key part of the workforce, for that to be right, it's important for every member of the public to know that is right, because we all at times could be a patient of the NHS.
And when you'd finished looking at the contract, what was the feeling you were left with?
Shocked, which I don't know why, because I've sort of got to the stage where I think, could anything else shock me? But as soon as I looked at it and I'd read through, despite all the other issues that have been issues within the media for some of the junior doctors, the fundamental thing for me was that no junior doctor with that contract has employment rights. If everything goes hunky-dory and there's never a problem and they've never got a concern, then fine. But real life, as we know, cannot always be like that, and you do hit problems and you do hit concerns. I think if you went to a tribunal, the way that contract is configured, they'd say, well, hang on, the people you're trying to sue is not your employer, so you've no employment rights. I think, well, I don't think it's actually been proven now with the Chris Day case that he couldn't win his case because they were not his employer. Fundamentally, for any basis of a contract, should it not define who is the employer and who is the employee? And then if anything goes wrong, hopefully not in an ideal world, but we know we're not in that, where do we go? Have we then got the right to go to tribunal? And then you can focus on the rest of it, but why aren't they giving that advice? The two key groups who can tell you anything that is going on within an organisation that is not right are your junior doctors, because they've got that fresh pair of eyes and they're there at the front line along with the nurses, and they are critical in highlighting any concerns. So the fact that they've got no employment rights to protect them if they want to do that is just, well, it just is difficult to comprehend.
So if a doctor steps forward, raises a concern, finds this concern is either ignored or he suffers some detriment, that's quite a powerful signal to the rest of the staff, isn't it?
It would silence the rest of the staff, because the fear that creates and the type of culture that creates, that is so powerful when it's people's livelihoods. And along with that, within this contract is a bit that talks about transfer of information. Now, how that is done within the NHS is through the electronic staff record.
Right.
So
we're talking about transfer of information regarding the employees, the doctors.
Yeah. So any concern that you've raised could go on that system. You go elsewhere and try to rebuild your career if it's been destroyed from that organisation. And as soon as you apply to another NHS organisation, that data will be transferred. So that trust would know you've raised concerns. They will know that you may have been put through a GMC practice hearing. They will know that you may have gone to a tribunal. They will even know that you may have took a compromise agreement. All of that information is passed on.
So this contract explicitly sets out arrangements to transfer employee data, which, from what you're saying, could be used against them, effectively blacklisting them?
Yeah. I think they've got a duty to inform their members exactly what that contract means for you. One, for your working conditions, but two, for your rights if it goes wrong. And I've sort of been bemused by some of the arguments over pay, because to me they're irrelevant. If you've no employment rights, you cannot take whoever for breach of contract. So to me, they've not been fulfilling their duty by advising members correctly. Are they therefore representing the members under the terms of that agreement? And as a medical defence organisation, I think that's pretty important.
Given all your experience of human resources and how people who raise concerns are treated, and how the current system works and how the system will work under the new contract, what would you do?
In what way? If I was asked to sign it?
If you were a doctor, yeah.
I couldn't sign it because it does in no way define me as an employee.